Hello everybody, my name's Simon Ray. I'm actually the infrastructure lead at the BIMstitute, and I've got a few minutes to talk to you about this as well. For many years the construction industry has been told that we are low in productivity. There have been many reports published on this topic, and that something must change. And in 2011 it did just that. 4 short clauses in the 2011 government construction strategy spawned an entire new industry. Rather innocuous. For the amount of noise that we talk about BIM, this is how it started coming into business as usual. So Francis Maud made the announcement in 2012 that April 2016 was going to be the deadline. And I worked in an industry where they said, no, that doesn't apply to us. You know, we're not really government and public funded. This isn't a fad. It isn't going to go away. And we've had enough time now for early adopters to pick this up and start working with it. But actually, over 70% of UK businesses are yet to adopt BIM, or they've taken quite a cynical approach and employ maybe one person, but they haven't really changed the business. Who's familiar with the 8 pillars of BIM? Anybody never heard of the 8 pillars of BIM? Anybody not interested in the 8 pillars of BIM? Well, these cover the how we do it during CapEx and OpEx, how we exchange data security, obviously very pertinent, the legal criteria, handover of information, when to produce information, and what to call it. One of the things for me that's missing out of here is the business case for BIM. These are standards, these are guidelines and rules, but digital transformation is expensive, and there are some challenges to be dealt with. And despite what you may hear, the B in building information modelling stands for building. It's not the verb, it was developed for buildings. And all the classifications and all the paperwork over the last few years was all architectural in nature. And in infrastructure, in highways and in railways and in utilities, we're having to write new information to fill these in. And don't be under any doubt that this isn't a huge piece of work, but it has to be led from the top. Everybody's been looking for support, and there's support out there, but is it impartial support? Is it, and the reality is it's not been impartial. It's software vendors are providing advice of how to use their software, and everyone's got BIM software, and they've got a part to play, but not necessarily strategically. Fragmented information management requirements. Every discipline and industry has its own ideas. So yet again, we're supposed to be having uniformity, but we're not getting there. It's getting a bit rookie. And there's quite a lot of noise. There's hundreds and hundreds of vendors now providing advice and services into the market. Who do you choose? It's actually created a bit of a paralysis. So my advice, lead from the boardroom. This has to be a top-down approach. Seek truly impartial advice. Don't be afraid to ask for less information. Just because you don't know what you want, don't ask for it all, because that will drive costs up, and the business case for that may collapse. And if you're an infrastructure owner, PAS 1192 Part 3 is more relevant because you've already got operational assets. And Part 2 is really about new build. Yet everything I hear when I'm talking in construction, I hear about 1192, BIM level 2, all the time. Audit your supply chain. Don't just take the word for it that yes, we can do this, because the reality may be different, and we're seeing that in the water industry. So to reach the 2025 construction target, which is a joint government industry initiative of 50% reductions, you're going to have to change. There is no doubt. So the people who want to change have already started to change, but how are we going to do this with 60 or 70% of these organisations who don't want to change? And the BIMstitute's here to help go through that. So thanks for listening. I think I've even got about 30 seconds spare. So if you want to discuss how to change and how we can help you change, I'll be at the back. Thank you.